Today on Better Book Clubs, I'm going to take up the reflection tag for the end of 2020. I first started posting videos about books and reading and advice for book clubs back in 2017. And I posted quite a few videos, I think in the range of 30. And then I took a long break and I came back to this project this past spring. So I'm really new to videos, to BookTube in a way because of that long break and also because I haven't connected into this community yet. I'm really just realizing that it exists. So I thought today I would take on my first tag, which is the reflection tag that was originally posted by Everything L. And I really like the questions that she asked, and they give me a good opportunity to kind of think at the end of this year about where my channel has been and where I'd like it to go. So her first question is, did you reach any bookish goals this year? And I've talked about my Goodreads reading goal in another video. I have read 29 books this year, and probably by literally the end of the year, it'll be more like 31 or 32. And I always, for the last 10 years, have set myself a goal of reading 30 books, which isn't very much to some people, but I have 2 jobs and 2 kids, and it's actually pretty good for me. And I also read among those books 2 classics. Every year I try to go back and either read for the first time or reread a couple of classics. And this year they were both brand new reads for me. One of them was Henry David Thoreau's A Week on the Concord and Merrimack Rivers, which is an account of a canoe trip that he took with his brother John. And I'm a huge Thoreau fan. So I had always wanted to read that particular piece. And I also read Gulliver's Travels for the first time this year. I'd read lots of little bits and pieces from it, but I finally read the whole thing with a group I like to read with on Goodreads from time to time called Classics in the Western Canon. So those were both goals that I had this year, but I actually think that I'm not going to set a reading goal for 2021 because I don't like judging my reading by the number of books I've read. And so I'm probably not going to do that again this year. We'll just see what happens. It'll be interesting to see what happens with my reading this year without setting any kind of goal. The second question is to give a shout out to bookish people who supported you this year. And as I mentioned, I haven't really connected yet with really anybody on BookTube. I've left comments on some people's videos, but I hope that in the next year, as I put up some more videos, I'll be able to say that I've both been supported by and supported some other booktubers. But the people who are really important to me this year were, first of all, my writers group, because I'm also a writer, and I have a writers group there are 5 of us who meet monthly to help each other with our writing, and that's just so important. In fact, this month they gave me a ton of help with a new story I have. And so huge shout out to my writers group. And then also to my daughters and a friend of my daughter who got me rebooted with these videos this spring. One of my daughters is a singer-songwriter who does a lot of social media herself. And so she has great ideas for me and she's answered a lot of questions for me. And my other daughter and a friend of hers happened to be here staying with us while I was toying with getting started on videos again. And they helped me with the tech side of things and really gave me that last little push I needed to get started again. So a huge shout out to the 3 of them. Question 3 is about my favorite video upload. And I think that my favorite video that I uploaded this year was one that I did on how to run a virtual book club. And the reason I really liked that video was because I was able to take my new knowledge about teaching in a virtual setting and bring that to the question of how a book club might run in a virtual setting. I teach at a university in Connecticut, and then I also teach in a summer program for kids, public school kids, 6th graders. And so I've used several different platforms between those 2 jobs and really learned a lot about presenting content online and some of the tools that are available and what works and what doesn't, and a lot of things that I've learned about the classroom translate into thinking about how a book club works. So I was really glad to be able to share that information and hopefully help some book clubs at a time when, if they're going to meet, it has to be virtually. And even though in some places people may be having small in-person meetings, I think an awful lot of book clubs have had to move online. So I hope I've been able to help some book clubs that way. That also happens to be my video that has performed the best out of the videos that I've done in this second set this year. That's, I guess, not really surprising. The next question is about a video that I made that didn't do as well as I thought or hoped it would. And there are two of them that I'm kind of surprised haven't taken off. Although almost all of my videos have really low numbers. And then I have some that have done incredibly well from my older set of videos. But a couple that I thought might take off more quickly than they have. One of them is about how to grow a book club. And some of that information isn't really currently useful until we're able to get out and about again and really have in-person meetings. But I still thought that there were people maybe who were trying to get a book club started who might find that video and it might take off a little bit better. And the other one that I thought might have more traction is a video that I did on how to find so-called hidden meanings. Because my students talk about that all the time. I teach mostly college freshmen. And they talk about this idea that their teachers have some hidden meaning in mind in the text that they want them to find. And I did a video that was kind of calling out that idea and yet acknowledging that there are maybe things in a text that you're not noticing that you might like to find. And so I thought that video might be helpful not only to book club readers, but also to students. You know, one reason I think they might not be doing as well yet is that I haven't put them in cards or end screens to promote them. And that kind of takes me to the next question, which is what have I struggled with this year. And I have definitely struggled with promotion. And I've really appreciated seeing that other booktubers feel the same way, which is like, I really love doing these videos. I know I have great content. I know that it's really useful to people because I have a lot of experience not only as a writer, but also visiting book clubs and teaching. But there's part of me that's like a little cringy about promoting my videos, which of course I have to do if I want them to be seen by people. And so that's something that I've really struggled with this year, as well as the tech side of things. I wish I had a better camera and a microphone and lighting, and it's just, it's partly the expense and it's partly just the commitment, like just committing to and deciding that that's what I'm going to do. So that leads right into the next question, which is what I want to improve on for next year. And of course, I want to improve on both of those things, promotion and also the technical quality of my videos. Under promotion, I guess this is really not promotion, but also what I mentioned before about connecting more with the BookTube community. Now that I know it exists, I didn't even know that when I was making videos the last time around before I took that big break. And so now that I know that this community exists, I'm pretty excited to learn more about who's out there and which channels are kind of aligned with my interests, and it's just a lot of fun when I have the time to sit down and watch other people's videos. So that's another thing that I want to spend some more time on in 2021 is just getting to know you guys better. And finally, what do I want my viewers to know? What I really want you to know is that I'm really interested in what you want to know. So I have a lot of experience, as I said, teaching and leading discussions and reading and talking about reading with people and writing. And so I have a lot of knowledge to share, but I'm not always sure what it is that people really feel compelled to learn. For example, I've seen that a couple of my videos about the classics, like my video on Middlemarch, has an astounding number of views compared to the rest of my videos. And I just recently did one on Anna Karenina, which is taking off. I'd like to know, like, what are those books, those classic novels that you would like me to do a video on? I had somebody request a video on Emily Dickinson's poetry recently, and so I'm planning to do a video soon about her. But I would just really love to know what my audience is interested in, because my motivation for doing these videos is to be helpful. I have a particular niche that I think most people who are making booktube videos don't have in mind, and that is to help book clubs in particular. Although I'm also thinking about doing a series for high school students, because I used to teach high school English, and I can see from my college freshmen who I teach now, I can see a lot of things that I wish I had done differently as a teacher, and that I think could be helpful to high school students who are reading the literature that they're reading. But I don't know if there's really an audience out there for that. So I would love for you, my audience, to let me know what you're interested in hearing more about. I'll leave a few relevant links below. Thanks to Everything L for suggesting this tag. And I will be back soon with another episode of Better Book Clubs.